Okay, so for those of you who are just joining in, if you could put your name in the chat, but I also would love to hear everyone say what their superhero task of the week that they accomplished this week. If you put that in the chat, that would be exciting and good for all of us, and I would love it. So Amber says, my superhero task for the week was not killing our caterpillars before they turned into butterflies. We're releasing them tomorrow. I love it. That's awesome. Caitlin put, I got a Mother's Day card from a 4-year-old on Monday from school, and he said that his mom is a rock star at babysitting. It made me cry. Oh, that is so cute. I love that, Caitlin. Oh, so great. Any other superheroes we have out there while we're letting these last few participants in this afternoon? Well, Valerie says superhero task of the week was a successful fire drill without using doors to exit the building. Out the windows we all went. There's nothing better than those window fire drills. I love it. Oh, that's so great. Okay, well, we'll read a few more of those as they're coming in. So if you are on this call and looking for superhero tasks or what we're looking for in the chat, what you did this week that was superhero tasks. So if you're here for Tiny training on time management systems, this week we are doing time blocking for childcare providers. We're going to build on what we learned last week, which was the Eisenhower matrix. And so I'm very excited to have you here and just want to thank everyone for being a part of these great series and coming to all of these trainings. A couple quick reminders. We just want to remind you that Montana Child Care Business Connect wants your child care business to open. We want it to grow. We really want to see your child care business sustained. So we want to see that long-term financial success happen for you. And that means that it's thriving. So these are our goals at Montana Child Care Business Connect to make everything in your business running the way that a business should here in Montana. I would like to just remind you our series outline. So last week we talked about the Eisenhower matrix, and we picked that for our first series specifically because the Eisenhower matrix is a really good base start for all of our future training time management series. So it's a good base start, and today's time blocking class definitely builds on that series. So happy to have you. And then our next time we meet on the 29th, we're going to cover the Pomodoro technique. Okay. So I'm looking for a few other superhero quotes. Okay, Roxanne, it's been a hard week with a full moon. Sometimes our superhero task is literally getting through a full moon week, right? That's a definite good one out there for us. So yeah, I love it. Well, I just want to start today with a huge welcome. And like I try to start all of our trainings, just a big, very sincere thank you for the work that you do. In my heart, you are all superheroes out there. The work you're doing is incredible. And I'm just really honored to be able to come and be a part of your world. And I want to thank you for taking 30 minutes out of your day today to be a part of this training. I think of you guys as the superheroes of the sippy cup world. You're not just running a childcare, you're running a mini civilization out there. And today we're going to actually talk about how to learn how to make room for what really matters by using a strategy called time blocking. Last week, we tackled the Eisenhower matrix, and you guys did amazing at that. So pat yourselves on the back. In that class, we discovered that the real magic happens when you focus your time and energy on the stuff that's important. So those two quadrants that include important things is that do quadrant, the blue, and then that green quadrant, the decide. That blue quadrant is the important and urgent, and that green quadrant is where the magic happens. It's the important stuff, but it's not maybe necessarily urgent. Because it's not urgent, it's so easy to put off to the side. But let's be honest, those do tasks, they're like glitter. They kind of get everywhere and they get out of control. They demand your attention, and right now they're just not shy about it. So before you know it, your whole day gets hijacked by snack time, emergencies, last minute phone calls, parents saying, "Can I just chat at you for a minute?" And those design tasks, those green tasks, like curriculum planning, training, team building, goal setting, those tasks become a little bit easier to ignore, but they're the ones that are going to help your program grow. And so we want to make sure that we can figure out some time management systems so we can focus in that green area. You were also challenged to spot the things that you could delete and that you could delegate in your day. And hopefully you gave that some thought this week. And those are things that you're able to just not necessarily focus on too hard in today's training. Today, we're going to take all of that good thinking and give it a home on your calendar. So get ready to learn a time management strategy that's going to make space for what matters the absolute most for you. It's time to turn intention into action with time blocking. Okay, so you guys have already done the hard part. You've sorted your tasks like a pro. So that very first week, we had you write down all the things you do in a day. Last week, we had you work on your tasks and how to sort them into the urgent and important. So that's like calming a crying toddler, handling a license call, fixing the snack, uh, taking care of a snack time milk explosion, all of those sorts of things. And then the important but the not urgent tasks are the ones that you probably always are saying, I wish I could be doing this, but I just don't have the time. Those are the ones like planning your monthly curriculum, preparing for staff meetings, finally organizing that chaotic supply closet, all the good stuff. You know what matters. And now it's just time to guard it like it's that last cup of coffee in the staff room. That's where time blocking is going to come in. It's your superhero cape for protecting the work that really matters. It's the stuff that builds your dream program before it turns into an emergency. So with time blocking, you don't just hope the important things happen, you're actually making space for those important things. All righty. So a little bit of history on time blocking. It's kind of been around longer than glitter's been in your craft bins there. It originated actually with the productivity thinkers like Benjamin Franklin, actually. He even blocked time for eating and taking a bath, which is kind of funny. It was popularized more recently by Cal Newton, who's the author of Deep Work. Excellent book if you haven't read it. And Elon Musk. Yes, even rockets get blocked time, you guys. So time blocking is when you're going to divide your day into blocks of time and assign specific tasks to each block. You want to think of it like nap time for your to-do list, structured, intentional, and extremely necessary. Okay, and time blocking works because our brains just are not built for the chaos. Even though you've been crushing it, time blocking creates that rhythm in your day, even when someone just poured applesauce in the block box. If everyone could just take a minute and pause, and I'd just like to see in the chat How many of you, your desk looks like a sticky note pad exploded on it? And how many of you, your desk looks really organized? So let's just go with exploded and organized. See those answers. A bomb went off most of the time, exploded bomb. I like the organized there, exploded. I love it. So you're not alone. You're in really good company, you guys. I can tell you that most child care facilities that I go to, it isn't just the desk that a sticky notepad exploded in. It's on the walls, it's behind you, it's all of those things. And trust me, we know that this has really kind of become the norm. What we're going to try to do today is to take those sticky notes off the wall, put them on a calendar at least in an organized way. And so that's kind of really as easy as it gets with time blocking. So, okay, so time for a reality check. You guys are running a childcare business. This is not a 9 to 5 desk job. I was nervous even asking you if you had desks, like who had a sticky note bomb on their desk, because you may not have a desk. You guys have a very special, different career. It's very unique. You have fires to put out, you've got tears to dry, you have diapers to change, and all of that happens before snack time. And so time blocking is even more challenging for someone in such an amazing role like you guys have. Time blocking as a child care provider is going to help you focus on what matters the most. It's going to help you reduce the overwhelm from where do I even start, which I think most providers feel all the time. There's just too much to do, so I'm going to do what I think is easiest. And it's also going to help you make space for planning, prep, and self-care. And if you've taken any classes from me, you know how passionate I am about self-care. You guys have to take care of yourselves, and it's so critical, and you're the last group of professionals to do it. So you'll hear me preaching your self-care every chance I get. So how do we do this with time blocking? The first thing that I want to teach you about is something called time batching. And time batching just simply means that you're grouping similar tasks together so your brain doesn't have to keep shifting gears. That sticky note explosion, a lot of times what happens is that we don't know which note to pull and to go to. And this note will take our brain in one direction, but the next note might take it in another. And the time it takes for our brain to shift from one thought to another can add up to 2 or 3 minutes. So if you're constantly needing 3 minutes to shift from task to task, it can really take over your day, and then you don't get to the important stuff. So what time batching does is it helps you group similar tasks together so your brain doesn't have to shift those gears. So for example, instead of replying to emails a dozen different times throughout the day, what you're going to do is batch all email responses into one 30-minute block. So you could take your calendar, set that day and say for the next, on Mondays, I'm going to, or every day when I open from 7:30 to 8 a.m., I am going to focus on email responses. Or maybe you want to do that at the end of the day, or maybe you want to do it at lunchtime. But you batch all of that together so that email task gets focused on and gets done. Same with cleaning tasks. You want to batch them daily, maybe like little 20-minute cleanup blocks. You know you've got a giant mess after lunch. You might want to schedule a little quick cleanup. Okay. And then the next thing that you want to focus on is for those bigger tasks, the things that are green that are in that Eisenhower matrix, you want to maybe consider having theme days, days where you get to focus on those green decide tasks that came from the Eisenhower matrix. If you've seen the example of rocks where you've got the big rocks, the gravel and the sand, and that sand just takes over our day, well, theme days kind of are the big rocks, those big things that are meaningful and give you time. Theme days can be a game changer. It's going to give each single day a focus. So, for example, Monday might be your administration day where you catch up on paperwork and parent communication, etc. And then Tuesdays, you might want to have that be your day where you're doing your curriculum planning, where you focus on just preparing activities for the next week, thinking about your themes for the week as well. Wednesday could be your financial check-in day, a time to look at billing expenses or receipts. Themed days keep your brain in the same lane instead of zigzagging through every rule you play randomly every day and just grabbing that one sticky note off your explosion on your desk. This kind of structure is going to help you actually get ahead instead of always feeling like you're playing catch up, which brings me to my next chat question. How many of you feel like your days are organized? I'm looking for organized all the time or always playing catch up. So let's throw those in the chat. Are you feeling like you're playing catch up? Or are you feeling like you're organized? Sarah, I am so with you. I love that. Sarah says, my life is a constant game of catch up. And I think that that's so true for childcare providers in general. Just really, really true. And once again, I'm just going to really focus here on something that Amber said. She goes, I see I'm in good company. And that's what I want you guys to know is that you don't have to be perfect here. We're giving you some tools, but just recognize that this is pretty normal and a lot of you could feel this way. So this is not about feeling bad. This is about maybe giving you some hope that for parts of the days, we might not feel like we're in catch up mode. So I hope that's a good thing. So this is what, hold on one second, sorry about that. So for those of you who are playing catch up, what we want to do is to be able to just take a look at what a time blocked day or a time themed day might look like. So a typical day in a childcare facility may look like this. Who knows what yours looks like, but there's a lot of tools available to help you time block a lot of people. Just break up their day in the example that's shown here. You can also use programs like Outlook or your Google Calendar. There's some other programs that help you project your days out and to do a little bit of project management with your time blocking, like using a Monday board or monday.com. But let's get real, you guys are busy. I think if you are able to take your day and just do this with like blocking it out with some sticky notes in an organized way and being able to put it to paper and say that this is what we're going to do. The important thing is that you do it. Use what works for you. Do not try to overwhelm yourself. So that's really important. And I just want to highlight that I did put in this was your Friday theme day that you're scheduling, making your time block here for self-care time for you. So this gets done in 5 easy steps. First, you're going to look at your week. Second, you want to definitely get down on paper your non-negotiables. That's your meals, your naps, your family pickup, drop off, all that important stuff. You do have to work on your additional work stuff. So that could be your admin calls, cleaning, that sort of thing. You want to leave a buffer time, you guys. Toddlers equal unpredictability. So everything kind of tends to take more time than you think it's going to take when you're doing time blocking, especially in the beginning. So make sure that you're giving yourself a buffer. Then you want to schedule the meaningful work. That's your green quadrant, that decide quadrant from your Eisenhower matrix. These are your training goals, your values, and yes, this includes time for yourself. Some common mistakes that childcare providers specifically make, and I hear it all the time from you guys, okay? First of all, you're not a robot. You are a human being. Mistakes that you want to avoid when you're doing any kind of scheduling is to set yourself up for a win. Avoid overscheduling. Avoid Do not forget that you're a human. Include buffer time, and don't be too rigid. This is a flexible thing. So if we were to go back to this slide and you take a look at these time blocks the gal has on the window here, you can pick that sticky up note up and move it. It's not set in stone, and you're not a failure if you didn't get to a time block in your day. You can always move it to another day. The important thing is that you start planning your days in chunks and that you start thinking about it in that realm. All right, so this is where the things should start to click for you. You've got two powerful tools now. When you put them together, they become your power move. So the Eisenhower matrix, it helps you see clearly. It's like putting on the glasses and realizing, oh, wow, no wonder I've been so exhausted. I've been living in the urgent zone forever. It helps to sort out what's actually important from what's just yelling at you the loudest. But knowing what's important just isn't enough. That's where the time blocking steps are going to really help you. It helps you act with intention so you don't just know what matters the most. You've protected time to actually accomplish it. Think of that matrix as your strategy and the time blocking as your playbook. Together, those two things become your power move. It's your superhero power. When you combine these tools, you're going to focus on what moves your childcare program forward. And at the end of the day, you guys, that's why you're on this training, right? You want to keep moving your program into this positive, great, eternal direction forward. We want to avoid burnout by not having time for the most important things. You can schedule space for you when you have this power move. You get to reclaim control of your time. Yes, even with the sticky fingers and the glitter storm and the applesauce in the block basket. And the best part is that you're modeling intentional living for your staff and your families. And even the little ones who are watching you, because you know very well, those brains know how to model after what you do. So yes, you can absolutely get the big things done, not because you worked harder, but because you plan smarter. And what I'd like everyone to do right now is to just take 1 minute and plan one thing you're going to do tomorrow. Would you please put one of your green decide Eisenhower matrix items in the chat so I can see what you're planning on accomplishing tomorrow by time blocking a little bit of time. One green task, and I'm going to read them out loud to everyone. And that task could be anything like Valerie put classroom cleaning, focusing on washing rugs. I love that. Amber put grocery shopping. Oh, Alisa, I love that. Setting up a science center. Mary, you don't have to have a perfect desk, but if you want to clean it, maybe you can organize it. I like the prep crafts for next week. That's like, that prep crafts one is definitely one of my dreams. I love that. Sarah put shopping for the meals for the next week. Awesome. Caitlin finishing my reading for cohort and ordering groceries for next week. I love that. Caitlin might be taking advantage of some other 0 to 5 classes there. That's awesome. Anna Mae getting art supplies ready for next week, because can we all give Anna Mae a shout out? She is a newly licensed provider in the state of Montana. Yay for Anna Mae. We are so excited for you. All right, I'm going to pause here, and I just want to give some time for a couple of questions. If anyone has questions, please just come off mute and ask them, and I will be happy to answer any questions anyone has. Next week, we're going to learn the Pomodoro technique. This method is ideal for those of us who struggle with focus or finding long stretches of work overwhelming. I think a lot of childcare providers probably feel this way just naturally because it's so easy um, to get overwhelmed, like being pinned to a desk for a long period of time. I think a lot of childcare providers pick your career because it's so broken up and all over the place and lots of activities and things to do. The Pomodoro technique is going to teach you how to work in really short, focused bursts without with built-in breaks so that you can work hard, take a break, work hard, take a break. It's useful if you need help in that staying motivated category. And I think sometimes when we're in burnout mode, it's easy for all of us to feel like we need that time. So I'm just gonna leave my chat open here, open it up if anyone has any questions or anything that they want to add today. I would love it if you all, please, I'm asking, to snap a picture of this QR code with your phones real quick and go take our survey so that we can be collecting some good data on what kind of trainings you guys would like to see in the future. We like to know what takeaways you get from these trainings, if they're useful, if you'd prefer them a different style, however it would work best for you. We would love for you to give us some feedback. And with that, I am just going to be quiet and thank everyone for their day. And I will stay on and answer any questions anyone has. I hope you guys have fun time blocking this week with your kiddos. Thanks.